Alola! I didn't forget this time. Force a habit. But we're trying to keep consistent. Alola. I am the official name reader. My job is to look through the first page of Google, review the nicknames provided by the internet, and then give my recommendations at the end. I kind of messed up on the Rockruff episode and went back to the hello hello, but I wanted to try and get every single episode with Alola to, be thematic and all that. Today we're looking at just wishy-washy. I'll type in school form later, but I sincerely doubt that's going to change anything, as this is we're going to compare it to Cherim, where it's like, it's got two forms, but they're the same Pokemon, and it literally means nothing. So, I'll look, but I have zero expectations. Alright, I'll acknowledge Avengers. Like, we are seeming already, like, this has only been, 2 minutes. And the theme we're collecting here, which is kind of funny because I don't think it showed up on Zygarde. I don't remember Zygarde. Is the idea of things collecting together. So Avengers Assemble. Like, I don't necessarily hate that one. That one's kind of funny, but I've also seen Legion already. So I guess there's the base direction that the internet is going with. Now, when I did originally see Wishy-Washy and think of it, I did think about Finding Nemo, and I tried to think about the School of Fish that show up in that one scene to make fun of Marlin.
Oh, they're good.
Would somebody please give me directions?
Would somebody please give me directions?
I'm serious.
Blah, 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 me, me, blah, 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 me, me, me.
Thank you.
But the thing is that the fish didn't really have a name or anything, so it's not applicable. But sharkbait at least still works. It's been a generic fish type, water type nickname for a while, so this could at least kind of be applicable to that, while also being a Finding Nemo reference if you so choose. So outside of that, it's also just a thing people say. So I like sharkbait. Sharkbait's fine. Now this might be another bot site, not sure, but the URL says where Pokemon meets anime.co.uk. So, they're at least conscious of the idea that this is a Pokemon. So there's that, I guess. But going over a couple that are, pretty easy and good would be Sushi. By a couple, that's pretty much it. Just Sushi. Tetra's fine too, I suppose. But, yeah. I've said this before, I'll say it again. I do think Pokemon kind of fucked up by not taking advantage of doing the rest of the astrological signs, so having a proper Pokemon that could represent Pisces feels like a huge missed opportunity. I understand it's not Pokemon that chose the name Tauros, but rather Nob, who is just some localizer, but all the same, it's a simple, easy concept, and it would be really cool if we had a Pisces-based Pokemon. Now, I don't particularly care for anything Denny has written down here today, but we will acknowledge the fact that he came up with a lot of different names, so if any of them at all appeal to you, feel free to pause and take a good look, because he came up with a lot of things. I just don't care for any of it. Alright, all of these are entirely unremarkable, so not worth spending too much time on it. Submerged, he makes as a pun between submarine and merge, because you get it, they all merge together, which it's like, okay, you tried. You could have just left it at submerge, like going underwater, and the joke of it merging together, but, it looks like a submarine to him, I guess. Predator, Piranhas, those are horrible, horrible names. And then Battleship, which, that's just boring and uninspired and not interesting, but it's, at least that and Submerged are better than that middle bullshit that I'm not going to try and pronounce a second time. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. I'm not gonna lie, anytime I do come across this bullshit, I always do look, like, at least maybe this far, and then I stop. And Starkist was actually one that I thought of, because I was trying, similar to how, like, with Crawdon, where I was like, oh, I want to do something with food. And I was trying to think, I was like, what would work good for, like, a food-based tuna kind of thing? And Starkist was the thing I came up with. That was my idea. So the fact that this robot, not he, not her, not anything, it's not human. If it is human, it should be put down immediately. But the fact that Starkist is there is actually quite surprising, because I've never told anybody that. I don't know if I've even technically used it yet. I don't know. I'm trying to find out where my fucking Wishy-Washy is so I can breed it and surprise for you. I'm still casually moving my Pokemon from Alola to Galar. So trying to perfect things, since, Alola, they had raising Pokemon figured out in an easy, simple way, and then Galar was like, what if we took all those features that were good and ripped them out of the game and said, fuck you? So Another reason Gen 8 is bad outside the animations is removing game mechanics that were detrimental to the series. End of spiel though. Starkist was an idea I had, best food-based thing we could work with. Surprised to see a bot come up with it. Alright, we'll go over this. I recognize the name Puttanesca, and just quick Google without reading anything is just like, oh, it's an Italian dish made with anchovies. I'm like, cool. So I don't know if Puttanesca means anchovy, or if it's just some things Italians just made up. Feel free to correct me if you know the answer to this, but I don't mind the idea of Puttanesca, and also since I said tuna and he said anchovy, I decided to check just to make sure. It says sardine. So, I don't know, I was just like, you know, tiny fish, tuna fish small, anchovy's fine, that makes sense too. But, yeah, apparently it's sardines. I suppose I should have seen Nemo coming, and I'm of the opinion, and, you know, maybe one day they'll do a Pokemon region based on Australia or something, but I always thought, like, well, you could do a clownfish Pokemon, and then you could call it Laffin, L-A-F-F-I-N. Do you get it? Because laugh, because clownfish, and then fin. I'm a fucking genius! So when that day comes where they eventually do make a proper clownfish Pokemon, maybe they'll give it a Joker face, who knows. I assume we'll see Nemo, but until then, Nemo's not going to fit anyone in specific, but if you want to just throw it on Wishiwashi just because, or because it references the movie with the school fish, there's another thing you could do. Maybe I put Starkist there. Maybe I did that. I don't remember, because that was like 3-4 years ago. What the fuck? Nickname generator for indecisive. Wishy-washy. Just further proof for you, Wishy-washy is blank on Pokemon.net. Pokemon.net has been pretty blank all of Alola so far. So we have reached the bottom. I did say I was going to check the school form, so we'll see if that changes anything, but I sincerely doubt it. Okay, we did technically get some slightly different results, but nothing worthwhile, so we can end the episode here. We can show that the spreadsheet is empty. We do have one single comment suggestion, though, and this one took me a little bit of questioning because I was like, I don't get it, and then the explanation helped. Wishy-washy Banjo. That is the cheat in Banjo-Kazooie that turns you into a washing machine. So, I like that. That's nice, but I do definitely feel like it's going to go over a lot of people's heads. And what's funny is also, I remember upon looking up Wishy-washy nicknames like some 3 or 4 years ago before this channel started, one of the people's results I remember seeing was Charlie Brown, because he's so wishy-washy. And I thought that was really strange, but okay. There was another hidden comment that I didn't realize because I didn't title the file correctly, so that was my mistake. But Moana being another nickname, I mean, it means ocean in Hawaiian, but it's also just the name of a film, so I can let that one pass, I suppose. As far as Skipjack and Albacore, I'm not sure because I'm not a biologist or marine biologist. That's the one. I don't know if that is comparable to different types of dog breeds like Golden Retriever, or if we're talking just different brands like Starkist. So I'm actually unsure what to make of that. I'm in editing right now, so I'm not Googling anything. And then lastly, anchovy. We sort of saw anchovy before, but not in this direct of a way. So if you wanted to use that as a prank name, sure, that's another idea for you. So as far as just, you know, overall highlights, I mean, I'm going to say that Sharkbait was probably the best, and then Starkist was my idea, so I'm wondering if maybe the name Strong pulled it off of Nick Finder, and I put it on the Nick Finder, forgetting I did that, because that was some 4 years ago, so it's entirely possible. But yeah, Starkist was my idea, and then what was the Italian dish that I forgot? Start with a P. Puttanesca. Ha! I remembered it! So those are the ideas. Well, let's go ahead and say, any other ideas for Wishy-washy you have, feel free to put in the comments below, give a thumbs up to the ones you think are good, and then I want to end this video with 2 questions. So, I would like to try out Wishy-washy on the team. I think it's a pretty cool Pokemon, honestly, and I was seeing some people saying like, oh yeah, it sucks. I'm like, why does it suck? Oh, its move pool is bad. I'm like, oh, well, that's unfortunate, because I feel like I remember Wishy-washy being good, but I could be wrong. That's not a question, that was just a statement. The question I have is, because sometimes I'll see things about Nuzlocke when I'm doing research on this. So my question is, how many of you have either found me, I mean, it's you know, we're only looking at this one video, have discovered my channel because of a Nuzlocke. Do you use this channel for when you do Nuzlocks? Because I'm wondering if maybe just the rule of nicknaming Pokemon for Nuzlocks has helped me in this channel at all. Because there's lots of times where I'll see people be like, oh, I don't like nicknames. It's like, then why the fuck are you posting in that thread then? Shut the hell up and go away. But Nuzlocks, you don't have a choice. So, yeah, I'm curious how much Nuzlocks might have affected this channel.